AM 950 Weather Center, I'm Tom Weston. Cloudy day today, high 79 degrees. For tonight, clearing and cool, low 49. And tomorrow, a sunny day, but cool, high 63. Don't just settle for what's in the cupboard. Add the flavor of Vinaigrette's premium oils and vinegars to create unforgettable meals. Since 2009, independent, family-owned and operated, specializing in everything vinaigrette. Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglund, and we are broadcasting live from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park, located here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another fabulous day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. This is going to be wonderful. I've been looking forward to this guest for quite a while. Her name is Krista Reimel, and she is founder and executive director of We Care. And she's here to talk about her mission to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. She will talk about her experiences and background as a nurse, a hospital administrator, and now an entrepreneur. This fall, Krista and her team will launch We Care, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. This occurs by offering holistic workshops, modern continuing medical education conferences, immersive retreats, and professional membership opportunities. In addition, they offer products and services that support whole person well-being. By improving our healthcare workforce's own well-being ensures we achieve better outcomes for both patients and professionals. You'll enjoy listening to my conversation with Krista Reimel. All right, I want to thank all of you that leave messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you. And you are very, very smart people, boy, very witty. And we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows. We look forward to hearing from you. We are also adding new listeners to the show each week, and thank you so much for that. We are not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on iTunes, Spotify, and many other podcast and streaming services. And you can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there are two ways to reach us. First, you can call the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show engineer, Tom, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your question at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry if you missed our phone numbers. I will repeat them throughout the show. And please don't wait till the show's ended, folks. Everyone who has a question sometimes waits till the end of the show, and we can't answer them if we get them after the show. So please, if you have a question, many others do as well. So please give us a call during the show, and we look forward to hearing from you. All right. I want to welcome my guest for the show today. I'm very excited about this. Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of We Care. Welcome to the show, Krista.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you having me.
All right. And I appreciate you being here on a gorgeous fall Saturday. It is beautiful out there. So thank you for taking an hour out of your day to be with us. Well, before we begin our conversation about We Care, The audience loves to learn about my guest.
Mhm.
So would you mind giving us just a background? I mean, you do have I kind of tease the audience with this nurse and hospital administrator and entrepreneur, but kind of give us a background and how those experiences have kind of brought you to where you are today.
Sure, sure, absolutely. So I've been a nurse for a little over 25 years, and I started my nursing career at Woodwinds Hospital in Woodbury, Minnesota.
Love that hospital. Yeah.
Yes, likewise. Will always have a heart for Woodwinds Hospital, but was very fortunate that as a young new graduate nurse, I started at Woodwinds thanks to Julie Schmidt, the founding CEO, who's still a close friend and colleague of mine. She really encouraged me to apply, and early on, the seed was planted thanks to Woodwinds and Julie's vision for Woodwinds Hospital that to provide optimal care really included both elements of conventional and unconventional medicine,
Mhm.
meaning Eastern and Western medicine,
Yep.
leading to integrative medicine. So early on in my career, I was exposed to things like essential oils, acupuncture, healing touch, and other modalities that we could really use to help heal patients. So I was a nurse there for a little over 5 years, and there was a pretty impactful circumstance that occurred in my second year of being a nurse at Woodwinds Hospital that really kind of catapulted me to where I am today in We Care. But and it's a tragic story, not actually of a patient loss, of course, of which you experience many of those as a nurse, but it was actually a loss of a colleague of mine. And so another fellow young nurse around the same age as myself at the time, we trialed this kind of new algorithm for nurse staffing, and we did 7 days on and 7 days off, 7 days on, 7 days off, which the 7 days off sounded really lovely. The 7 days on were very,
Right.
very taxing by day 6 or 7. And it was day 7, the last day of our 7 days on. I was the charge nurse at the time, and one of my fellow nurses, who was following the same schedule as myself, did not arrive for her shift that day. And I thought, well, that's so unlike her. I know
Mhm.
day 7's hard, but she always would at least call. We'd been doing this, rhythm and schedule for about a year now. And an hour went by and no one had heard from her yet. And I thought, okay, this is very abnormal. Reached out to HR and our leadership team and said, I'm concerned. What options do we have?
Yeah.
And we tried to reach out to family, and unfortunately, we could not get a hold of her family, and ended up deciding to call the police to do a
Right.
well check on her. And when the police arrived, very sadly and tragically, they found that she had a self-inflicted gunshot wound, which is, yeah, I still just get a little choked up as I talk
Yeah.
about that. And it hit me so hard, as it did everybody in the hospital and her family and her whole community. And in the letter that she left, clearly she was struggling with some mental health issues that she felt like she had to hide because she was a nurse, and she
Mhm.
felt this guilt and this shame around having her own mental health struggles. And then, looking back in the rear view mirror, I could see that when she was even at work, I could see that playing out as I think her colleagues could. But, we're all so busy in healthcare. We didn't even stop to see some of those most alarming signs in our own colleague. It's just kind of the nature of the beast of healthcare. And it really opened my eyes to the dangers that are hidden in our own profession. And those have kept coming to me fast and furious throughout my career. But at that moment in time, I really started to have a heart for how are our own healthcare professionals doing in this industry? Because, Ken,
Yes.
we see life and death every day, and
Mhm.
you're holding people's fragile moments in your hands. And as much of that as a gift,
Mhm.
and you choose it, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and the impact you can make is so profound, it's also a lot of responsibility. It's also a lot to process, and it's also a lot to just reconcile at the
Mhm.
end of your day. And unfortunately, what a lot of people don't understand is that in nursing and most medical programs and everything in between, you're not really taught how to have the tools to process grief and handle tragedy and trauma. I think everybody understands that's going to be part of the profession, but I don't think you can appreciate the magnitude of it until you're in it. And then all of a sudden, a year or two goes by, and you're like, whew, I don't know if I'm okay myself.
Mhm.
And I don't really take time or space to process and grieve and let go and honor all the patients that you're saying hello and goodbye to.
Mhm.
And they build up, people build up inside your reservoir of, those gifts of caring for others in those moments. And you have to process that. And we're just not given time or space to do that. We're not given the tools to do that. We're not giving the training or the education to do that very well. So that was a moment that really has played out to today why I'm sitting
Mhm.
here. But kind of moving on from that moment, I quickly learned that leadership was a calling of mine. I'd had a dad who was a local Twin Cities CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I'd always watched amazing leaders do amazing things. And I think just by osmosis, I had some leadership qualities early on that were noticed, even though I was very young and new in my career. I went on to actually get my master's in healthcare leadership. Went on to become a supervisor in primary care clinics in a Twin Cities healthcare system, and then went on to become director of diabetes and endocrinology care for multiple clinics and hospitals in a large system in the Twin Cities
Mhm.
also. And during that time of caring for about 40,000 patients with type 1 and type 2 diabetes, I started to have this profound interest in not just the pharmaceutical or surgical intervention around how we could manage disease, chronic disease, but how can we shift our lifestyles to actually influence
Mhm.
and draw people into a greater state of health? Um, and we launched a series of cooking classes that were actually targeted for disease management in along with Cooks and Crocus Hill. It was the
Mhm.
first
Yeah.
actually disease management class that anyone had launched inside of a kitchen in the state of Minnesota. And at first they kind of looked at me like, "Are you sure you can do this? And you sure the healthcare system is on board?" And I said, "Yeah, fortunately, we have grant funding to do this."
Mhm.
And we launched a series of cooking classes for patients and their family members. We got endocrinologists in there, primary care docs, diabetes educators, because so much of the care around managing diabetes is centered around food. And so it seemed kind of silly that we never brought food into the conversation in a really tangible
Mhm.
way.
Right.
Um, so a program that had once upon a time felt semi dry, all of a sudden was really innovative and engaging. And from a class that we used to have to like pull on people to come to, they were knocking on the door, and we had waiting lists for patients and their partners to attend.
Yeah.
And so I really drew a great interest in what capacity lifestyle medicine has for managing
Yeah.
disease. And that kind of carried on for a number of years in hospital administration, sometimes well received, sometimes not by the healthcare systems, but nonetheless, patients were interested. And that's what we were really focused on.
Right. Yeah. You got to get to the patient because they're the one that
Mhm.
really directs their care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of We Care. And we're talking about her mission to support the health and well being of our healthcare workforce. If you have a question for us, give us a call, 952 946 6205, or text us at 612 999 3426. I'm Ken Hageland, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Overwhelmed trying to make sense of Medicare? As a licensed advisor, I can help you determine your healthcare needs and evaluate your options. I'm Harvey Pearl of Pearl & Company, and I want you to have the peace of mind knowing you have the best coverage available. You deserve an advocate you can trust and coverage you can rely on. And there's no fee, ever. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Call me now at 651-303-8889 so we can strategize together.
You have a loved one who is not receiving the care that they deserve at their current memory care facility. I'm Aiden Helene, Director of Community Relations here at the Welshire, and I meet with families every single day who are struggling with poor staffing, missed medications, poor personal cares, and an absence of engagement from consistent activities. 85% of our residents at the Welshire are coming from other memory care facilities that could not meet their care needs. Not all memory care is created equally. And if this is something your family is experiencing, I encourage you to come visit our community of well-being and see the Welshire difference, where we promise that your loved one will live with pride and dignity. The Welshire has 24/7 nursing, a robust activities team that provides activities 7 days a week. And when the diagnosis takes a 9 to 5 approach, so will we. Book a tour at welshiremn.com and see our community of well-being in action. That's welshiremn.com. Again, that's welshiremn.com.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
It's time to experience the amazing flavors of eatlocalminnesota.com. It's your key to unlocking the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities. Nightingale off 26th and Lindale is where good times and great flavors unite. Chef Carrie keeps it fresh with seasonal dishes, or savor classics like the Nightingale burger, steak tartare, and irresistible chocolate pot de crème. Explore tasty vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options, and enjoy craft cocktails, curated wines, and half-price wine bottles every Monday. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. More at nightingalempls.com. Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville sets the bar when it comes to roast beef sandwiches. But let's not forget their other mouthwatering offerings. From Philly steak to turkey bacon avocado, BLT, crispy chicken, fish, brisket, and pulled pork, the menu is a flavor-packed delight. Don't miss out on their delicious variety. Explore the full menu at mavericksbeef.com. Your taste buds will thank you.
All right, welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Hagland, and joining me today is Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of We Care, and she is here talking about her mission to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. That's something new. This fall, Krista and her team will launch We Care, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Now, Krista, if our listeners have questions and want more information, is there a way they can get a hold of you or your organization?
Yes, absolutely. So we are in the process right now, Ken, of merging 5 different programs and entities together under one umbrella
Well,
called
good
We
luck
Care.
to that. Wow.
Thank you. Yes, I know it's been an undertaking, but one, that has a great purpose, and we're very passionate about it. But launching on Friday is our brand new website. All of our programs right now have their own individual websites, but as of Friday, we will all be under www.wecarenonprofitfoundation.org. So as of Friday, you'll be able to find us there. We also have an open house that everyone is welcome and invited to join if they're interested in meeting our team and learning more about our mission. And that is occurring not today, but next Saturday, October 12th, at the Sauna Yard in Minneapolis. And it is running from 3 to 7 p.m. We'll have an intermission about halfway through, around 4:35. And at that time, we're going to have all kinds of great raffles and drawings and giveaways, and a little presentation from myself and one of our physician colleagues who's on our board, Dr. Jeremiah Eisenschenk. He's an obesity medicine physician. And then everyone will have a chance to meet our team. You can come in sauna. We're going to have live jazz music, food, all the good things. So again, everybody's open to join. You don't have to be a healthcare professional. You don't have to be an active patient, just an interested human in this cause.
Yeah. So that's Saturday, October 12th. And what are the times?
From 3 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
at the Sauna Yard.
The Sauna Yard.
Yeah, in
I have never
Minneapolis.
heard of that.
Oh, it's run by a good friend of mine, Superior Saunas. It's their sauna yard. It's a beautiful community space. So they have, gosh, I want to say 8 to 10 different saunas you can choose to enjoy if you want. They have a beautiful community area in the middle of this sauna yard, which is where we'll have the music and the food and the community time. So yeah, it's just going to be a really fun event. Our fall has been so beautiful, and it looks like next weekend we're hanging on to the 70s and sun, so we're really
Yeah.
grateful for that. But would welcome anyone to come and join us. And I know this can feel like an interesting mission because generally speaking, people think and assume that healthcare professionals would understand how to truly be healthy and well themselves. And while most people go into the field, I love how you're laughing, Ken's like, no, they're not.
I've worked with hundreds of healthcare
Uh-huh.
professionals.
Well, at the end of the day, the moral of the story is we're all humans, right?
Absolutely.
And every human has the same struggles. And being
Right.
healthy in today's world, in all transparency, is very
almost
hard.
impossible.
Yes.
Yes.
There are more unhealthy avenues around every corner you turn than healthy ones. So, healthcare professionals struggle with all the same things. And I think people assume we have a lot of training, and we really don't have any training around how to care for ourselves. We're so focused on caring for our patients. But that even translates in offering a capped degree of care to our patients when we don't open ourselves to exploring other avenues to really helping people achieve optimal health and well-being. So most of our traditional conventional education programs are needed and necessary, but unfortunately, Ken, as we were just talking about, I don't think people realize, so physicians in medical school, the average medical student will get somewhere around 10 to 15 hours of nutrition training out of 8,000 hours, roughly 8,000 hours. So when you get frustrated with your physician saying, well, just exercise more and eat healthy, and you're like, well, that's really helpful advice. Like all of us don't have that on our mind, right?
Yeah.
What can I tangibly do? Well, in all reality, a lot of physicians and nurses just don't have the training. So they're not meaning to be neglectful or, kind of, passive
Or even
information.
evasive. Yeah, right.
Right. But it's literally just for lack of honestly understanding. And that translates to ourselves. And then we are in a workplace that, you have an appreciation for this. Even though we've chosen it, we're not prepared for the insults that occur in our work environments, and they're daily. And, we see people on their worst days. So there's things like workplace violence from patients and family members. And that has escalated tremendously since the pandemic. The rates have doubled from what they were pre-pandemic. So you're concerned for your own safety. You're working long hours. You're almost always short-staffed. You're always in the middle of this stressful noise, smells, sights, and it's a challenging environment. And, kind of what do all of us do when we are constantly in a state of stress? Well, we tend to divert to the unhealthy lifestyles. It feels like it takes more time and energy to choose the healthier lifestyles. And when that becomes a perpetual cycle, all of a sudden healthcare professionals are like, okay, now I'm ridden with my own depression, anxiety, panic, PTSD, grief. And all of a sudden I'm 50 pounds heavier than I meant to ever be. And I don't know what just happened. And I'm not sleeping, and my relationships are falling apart, and my life is falling apart. And I can't pay my medical student debt unless I work X more hours. So I can't really do anything different. And it's this really vicious cycle that healthcare professionals find themselves in. And really, it's a national crisis. Our U.S. Surgeon General is talking about at this juncture because in 2027, we are facing a shortage in our country of 500,000 nurses. And everybody can go, okay, well, that's not going to affect me. And I'm like, well, if you're in a crowd of hundreds, thousands of people, if I asked everyone to raise their hand if they've never needed healthcare in their life, no one's going to raise their hand.
Right.
We all need it.
Right. No.
Yeah. So
No, it's so important. And I'd love to pick up on that when we get back from break here.
Yeah.
There's so much to explore there.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation, a very interesting conversation with Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of WeCare. And she's here today talking about her mission to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. This fall, Krista and her team will launch WeCare, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. long overdue. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Hageland, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
You have a loved one who is not receiving the care that they deserve at their current memory care facility. I'm Aiden Helene, Director of Community Relations here at the Welshire, and I meet with families every single day who are struggling with poor staffing, missed medications, poor personal cares, and an absence of engagement from consistent activities. 85% of our residents at the Welshire are coming from other memory care facilities that could not meet their care needs. Not all memory care is created equally. And if this is something your family is experiencing, I encourage you to come visit our community of well-being and see the Welshire difference, where we promise that your loved one will live with pride and dignity. The Welshire has 24/7 nursing, a robust activities team that provides activities 7 days a week. And when the diagnosis takes a 9-to-5 approach, so will we. Book a tour at welshiremn.com and see our community of well-being in action. That's welshiremn.com. Again, that's welshiremn.com.
Overwhelmed trying to make sense of Medicare? As a licensed advisor, I can help you determine your healthcare needs and evaluate your options. I'm Harvey Pearl of Pearl & Company, and I want you to have the peace of mind knowing you have the best coverage available. You deserve an advocate you can trust and coverage you can rely on. And there's no fee, ever. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Find me at pearlsofwisdom.com. That's PERLES of wisdom.com. So we can strategize together.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, this is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Did you know that we've been doing this show for 6 years on AM 950? And it's one of the only, I think it may be the only show about idealism in all of Radioland. And now the show's at 4 o'clock on Saturdays and still from 1 to 2 on Sundays. It'll be part of a new concept, a series of LGBTQ hosted shows and podcasts. Make sure to check it out.
From the AM 950 Weather Center, I'm Tom Weston. Cloudy day today, high 79 degrees. For tonight, clearing and cool, low 49. And tomorrow, a sunny day with cool, high 63. Don't just settle for what's in the cupboard. Add the flavor of Vinaigrette's premium oils and vinegars to create unforgettable meals. Since 2009, independent, family-owned and operated, specializing in everything vinaigrette. Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Hageland, and joining me today is Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of We Care, a new effort, new organization that is doing some great things here. And so they're launching here this fall. And she's here talking about the mission that she has and her organization has to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. Krista and her team are launching We Care, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. It's long overdue for this, and this is just an exciting time. And so I hope all of you that are in healthcare will let your friends and colleagues know about this program that she is going to be talking about today. Okay, before we return to our conversation with Krista, I want to mention this show is brought to you in part each week by the team at Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life healthcare services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services right to your home with typically no cost to you or your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that phone is answered by a registered nurse with Minnesota Hospice. So please feel free to call them if you have any questions. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, their phone number is 952-898-1022, or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Krista. If you have a question for her, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or you can text us your question at 612-999-3426. Krista, how can our listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, as of this coming Friday, they can go to our website, which is launching, and that is www.wecarenonprofitfoundation.org. People are welcome to email me personally, Krista, Christa, currently at wecarenonprofitfoundation.org. And on Saturday, they can come to our open house if they want to learn more from us live in person and enjoy a free open house event with our team, all kinds of giveaways, all kinds of music, food, sauna, fun activities, and enjoy a beautiful fall day with us. They can join on Saturday, October 12th at the Sauna Yard in Minneapolis from 3 to 7 p.m.
Well, I'm going to be there. That'll be a lot of fun. And it's located at 4355 Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. So if you have any questions about that, again, there's nothing on your website right now about that event.
No.
Got it.
Yes,
So
not particular about that event.
that's okay, though. They can contact the radio station.
Yes.
And we can get that information out to them as well.
Perfect. Yes. We have things on, as I said, we're merging 5 different programs under
Right.
one, and that's all officially coming together on Friday. So those individual pages, they can find stuff about our open house event. But for now, feel free to reach out to me or the radio show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Yes.
I am looking to stop by there. No,
Thank you.
Do you bring your swimsuit then, or your sauna
Yeah.
wear?
Yeah. Well, in sauna, it's so interesting. There's so many incredible research studies showing the health benefits of saunas, which of course we know in the Scandinavian countries, the research has been going on for hundreds of years.
Yes.
But we're finally kind of adopting that in the US here and appreciating it for the value that it has in improving health. And I lost my mom to Alzheimer's, and there's actually a lot of incredible research around repetitive sauna use and the decrease in dementia and Alzheimer's. And so I've done a lot of personal deep dives at the Harvard Lifestyle Medicine Institute for Functional Medicine on lifestyle medicine in general. But sauna is a great way to detox your entire body. So to answer your question, you can absolutely bring your swimsuit and towel and come in sauna. They have 8 to 10, all very different, equally beautiful saunas. But if sauna doesn't speak to you, don't worry. You can just come and look at them and join us, in the community courtyard and just have some food, listen to some music, get to know some wonderful people. So sauna is optional,
Right.
but it is an option.
But it is an option.
It is an option.
All
Yes.
right. And the weather sounds like it's going to be great next weekend.
Yes, we've had the most beautiful fall, and
Oh.
it looks like it's going to continue. So 70 and sunny is what I
So-
see for next weekend.
Wow. So take advantage of that and support this amazing effort. I mean, this is something that's been so long overdue.
Yeah.
I mean, I always run across people in the most unusual ways.
Right.
And I know you have a friend of yours that works with me at
Yeah.
Minnesota Hospice,
Yeah.
and you dropped off some amazing things, these care packages, and
Mhm.
wow, just amazing. So if people want to donate and
Mhm.
support your
Mhm.
your nonprofit organization,
Mhm.
will that be available then in the next week or so, or will they have information at that point to be able to help support this amazing work you're doing?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Ken. And yes, as of this weekend, we will be able to, you can partake in a variety of different ways if you want to support our mission, whether it's through donations or coming to a future event that we're going to be hosting, or buying one of our new We Care boxes, which is a new, new product line that we've developed. And it's interesting, Ken. I'll kind of go back to a couple of different stories that
Yeah.
led us up to the inception of this whole program, which is products, services, retreats, memberships, and a provider directory. So we have this whole line of different ways that people can enter depending on where they are in their well-being journey. And we're focused on supporting the health and well-being of our healthcare professionals. And I'll tell you, I've gone to the University of Minnesota medical students a couple of different times to talk about well-being. And it's so interesting because I look at them and they're so young and eager and ready. And I love it so much. I remember being there once upon a time. And I have to deliver a message that I know I might be the only person that they're going to hear this from. And I kind of go through this whole series of insults that are going to happen in your career. And they're kind of looking at me like, who brought her here?
Yeah, right.
She's kind of a Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer, right.
Yeah.
So-
And then at the end, I go through a scenario of 4 different patient scenarios, and ask them to pick the most critical scenario and the most concerning patient. And in the 4th arena, I show a patient who is incredibly sleep deprived. They have not taken time to eat well. Their stress and their cortisol, which is your stress hormone, are, as high as possibly can be, and yada, yada. And they kind of pick, of course, one of the patients that I lay out is someone who's having, say, open heart surgery, and that's who they all pick is going to be the most complicated patient.
Right.
And I end up showing the person who's sleep deprived, has not been eating well, who has stress that is off the charts. And I say, and guess who that is? And they all kind of go, who? And I go, it's you. I said, the hardest patient you're going to actually take care of is you, meaning the medical
Right.
students.
Right.
Because no one is going to pull you aside and say, are you okay?
Right.
How are you doing? Have you eaten today? Have you used the restroom today? Have you gotten any sleep? Have you debriefed on the last trauma, from that trauma room and trauma scenario that we were just in?
Right.
And it's so counterintuitive. We just go, care, give. But nobody can keep serving from an empty vessel, right? At some point, you have to fill your own cup. And we just don't practice that well in medicine at all. And all of us have experienced that in life, right? Whether we're
absolutely.
humans, and sometimes we just over give, and then we have to kind of pull ourselves back and go, okay, I can't do this anymore. I have to do some self-preservation here. But in healthcare, the culture does not support that. And so, it's kind of, I tell it, and why this matters for everybody. One, we all need healthcare.
Right.
Healthcare professionals need healthcare. Every single human here, living, breathing, eating, walking today is going to need healthcare, either at the beginning of your life, the middle of your life, or the end of your life.
All right. Minnesota
Yes,
Hospice.
you
Yeah.
need nurses, you need physicians, you need
yes.
everybody who makes a hospital run, which is 100 different professionals,
Right.
all of very significant importance. And if we don't have those, which it is a national crisis right now, because we have a mass exodus of healthcare professionals right now. And that matters because think about, when you go to a restaurant, we've probably all gone to a restaurant in the last handful of years since the pandemic, where it's like, sorry, short-staffed, please be patient with us today. How would you feel if you come to the emergency room with your loved one who's having a stroke or a broken leg or was just in an automobile accident, or your wife needs to give go through labor, and we say, sorry, we're short-staffed today, just be patient with us, we'll get you when we can, which is 8, 10, 12 hours.
Right.
Nobody wants that scenario, because that is what we're facing, is a delay in being able to give care, a delay in the ability to give quality care. And as a matter of fact, the Commonwealth Funds just came out with a publication that out of, I think it was 11 countries of similar socioeconomic status as the United States, the United States ranks last in terms of quality outcomes for our patients. So it's this storm of our healthcare professionals are not doing well and are leaving in masses from the profession because they don't feel like they can continue on in the capacity of
Well,
which they're working.
They're burnt out.
They're burnt out.
Right.
And then the trickle down effect of that is it compromises everybody's health because we cannot provide the care that we need to. And, I always tell people this, think about when you get on an airplane, and I'm a little neurotic when I fly, but I always walk in and I glance at the pilots and I'm like, okay, good. They look well rested and healthy. Yay. And you should look at your healthcare professional the same way because they're making the same life and death decisions all the time, but they're not safeguarded in the same capacity that, say, a pilot is in terms of how many hours can you fly. I could show up and probably work 30 days in a row, 12-hour shifts, and they'd ask me on day 31, can you come back?
Right.
It's like we just, there's not the same safeguarding of our healthcare professionals, and it's creating a trickle-down effect from their burning out and leaving, and us as patients and a community of well-being and wellness seekers are not getting the care that we need. So nobody's really winning in the scenarios. And our healthcare systems, and Ken, you just said hospice is so tough. You don't go into healthcare to make millions of dollars. Our healthcare systems are struggling to stay afloat on top of that. So it's
Many are
tricky.
Closing. And again, here we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world. Like you said, the worst outcomes.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate because people, going back to the students that you talked to, they go into this profession because they want to make a difference.
Yes.
They want to care for people. They want to have people succeed in their healthcare journey. And the problem is that often creates too this sense that they don't take care of themselves. They take care of others. So instead of putting on their oxygen mask on first before others, they put everyone else's oxygen mask. And I've seen that in our healthcare program at Minnesota Hospice over the years, and it's tough. You have to really work hard to create that work-life balance in your organization and a culture that supports that work-life balance.
It's so true. And again, it's one of those things that it's this problem that's kind of hidden under a rug, and I'm sure nobody wants mass hysteria, but there's a couple of things I want to bring forward when we return.
Sounds good. All right, it's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of WeCare, and she's here talking about her passion and mission to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. This fall, Krista and her team will launch WeCare, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. If you have a question for her, and I know you do, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Hageland, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. We'll be right back.
I'm Mary T, inviting you to experience our integrative Mary T Health and Wellness Center, offering physical, occupational, speech, and lymphedema therapies. Experience our guided imagery, meditation, Tibetan medicine, dry needling, massage services, including cupping and oncology massage. Sign up for our free wellness screenings and learn more at marytwellness.com. All major health insurance providers are accepted. Come for therapy, experience wellness.
It's an absolute must for any true foodie. Vinaigrette at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis offers premium oils and vinegars for the most discriminating of tastes. This is Sarah Piepenberg, owner of Vinaigrette. We bottle on site, there's no guesswork, and you get to taste test each and every oil and vinegar we offer. Our direct relationship with the growers ensures an uncompromised level of satisfaction. When you need to know you're cooking with the finest ingredients, first contact the independently owned Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Online at vinaigrettemn.com.
Hi, this is Laura. Listen to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. or anytime via podcast. Our individual health is connected to the health of each other and connected to the health of the earth. We know the problems with the dominant food system: climate change, deadening soils, nitrates in the water, factory farming, injustice, concentration of wealth. How do we both as individuals and as a community step up and support a living food system which honors the earth? Tune to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. and remember to support your independent farmers.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950, here to tell you about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If your home was hit with the most recent storms, trust the most well-reviewed exterior construction company, Snap Construction, for a free home inspection.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. There are a lot of great construction companies in town. My advice is to take your time and do your research. Make sure they are locally owned and that they guarantee their craftsmanship for life. Also, you want to find a company that's been in business for at least 10 years. You want to work with a company that's going to be there long after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims, and we'll help you through the process.
Don't go with the out-of-town fly-by-night contractor. Most storm damage goes missed by the untrained eye. Trust Snap Construction for your free storm damage evaluation. For your free storm damage evaluation, call Snap Construction at 612-333-SNAP or visit them online at snapconstruction.com. That's 612-333-SNAP or snapconstruction.com.
The future of car shopping is here right now at Rudy Luther Toyota with Luther Direct. It's car shopping without ever leaving your home. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com and click on the Luther Direct button. Choose any vehicle in Rudy Luther Toyota's current inventory, either new or certified pre-owned. Then find out your trade-in's value, review a payment plan you qualify for and customize it, and then set up a time for Rudy Luther to drop off your new vehicle and pick up your trade-in. It's that simple. Your new vehicle without any of the hassle. Check out Luther Direct today at rudyluthertoyota.com.
Okay, welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Hageland, and joining me today is Krista Reimel. She is founder and executive director of We Care, and she's here talking about her passion and her mission to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. And this fall, actually very, very soon, she and her team will launch We Care, a nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive well-being care to our healthcare workforce. And as you've heard throughout the show, that is critical to our success as a society in living healthy lives. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Krista, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have any questions, want more information, or are interested in attending your open house next Saturday?
Yes, feel free to email me directly, Krista at WeCare nonprofitfoundation.org. And as of Friday, you can go to our new website that is launching, which is www.wecarenonprofitfoundation.org.
Boy, I'm excited for that launching. And just so people know, Krista is spelled Chista. Right?
Almost.
Oh,
Christia.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Krista. So
Yes.
it's not with a K.
Yeah, with
it's
a C.
A C.
Yeah.
Christa.
Thank
Krista.
you. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right. Boy, there's so much to talk about. Boy,
Yeah.
I wish people could hear our conversations
Right.
between the segments. Those are
Uh-huh.
always so fascinating. So we have like 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
want to focus on
Yeah.
here?
I know it's so hard. There's so much. So here's what I would say that I don't think most people know. So I think people are aware of probably the nursing shortage staffing issue
yeah.
among nurses. That seems to be somewhat public. What's very hidden in there is that physicians, in particular female physicians, actually have one of the highest suicide rates out of any profession. So, as we broke off for our break there, Ken, you were talking about how frustrating and challenging and devastating it is for people to go into the profession, spend oftentimes a decade of their life, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through medical school with these great hopes and dreams of doing amazing things. That's not just going to improve quantity of life, but quality of life, to find that that's far more challenging than anticipated. And it becomes this point where it's almost, if you've heard the term moral injury, where you go in to do good and great things, but the capacity that the hospital systems have and or you have as an individual or your team has are so limited, you just at the end of the day often can't give the quality of care you hope to. And if you want me to be honest, I will tell you probably one of the most rewarding segments of care I've ever provided has been in hospice care. And it's because I feel like it's actually where you can give quality care. And how ironic is that we wait till you're at the end of your life to actually give you compassionate care that is giving time, it is giving energy, it is giving presence, it is caring about the human underneath the diagnosis.
The whole person.
The whole person.
Right.
And I've always had an affinity towards hospice care, and my dad, both of my parents were involved in hospice care. So I have a significant heart for hospice care. But I'd like us to be able to give better care along the way, because we all want that and we all need that. And our healthcare professionals genuinely want to give that. I still believe, there's a lot of divide between our healthcare professionals and our healthcare leaders. And at the end of the day, we all want to give good care. It is really hard to also run and operate a business when you are constantly fighting running in the red, right?
Yeah.
And healthcare leaders have really hard decisions to make. And it's also abnormal for leaders to have to make a decision where you put your dollars is inevitably, going to impact
Right.
someone's life or death.
That's right.
So nobody has it easy in healthcare. Both sides, all around, it's very challenging. Patients, healthcare professionals, leaders,
And the
very
demand is
challenging.
increasing.
Yes.
We have an aging population.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people coming to the country, and we just have so much demand on our healthcare system. So there's going to have to be some fundamental changes at some point.
Yes, great point. People are getting sicker and sicker and living with more chronic disease.
Right.
And oftentimes people have more than one chronic disease they're trying to manage.
Right.
So we have to do some shifting, and this is multifactorial. This will take many layers, many think tankers, many brilliant minds to come to the table. I have seen hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars thrown at this problem. I've seen people sitting in a room, holding hands and crying with tissues trying to solve this problem. So it's big and it's little and everything in between. We all have to think about it.
Yeah.
But we're coming at this to say, okay, we know healthcare professionals are hurting, they are suffering, and we're trying to come forward with solutions for them to take care of themselves. So in November, we're launching or we're becoming part of and taking over a conference called Minnesota Cares Wellness. It's a one-day conference, all focused on healthcare professionals' well-being. We've developed these new line of boxes that anybody can purchase. Any profits go to help support our mission. But we're also launching specific boxes that hit healthcare professionals' pain points: sleep, energy and focus, self-care. And then fortunately, we've been partnering with the Minnesota Medical Association and the American Medical Association, and our subscription boxes are going to offer CME credits. So healthcare professionals can actually get CME credits in everything that we do in our entire company for taking care of themselves. And they've never gotten that message. That's why we call ourselves We Care, because we just want healthcare professionals to know there are people in this world that care about them, and we want them to stay in the profession. We want them to be healthy and well, just like they're trying to provide for their own patients.
Fantastic. Krista, thank you for being here. We're nearing the end of the show, folks, and I want to thank Krista Reimel, founder and executive director of We Care, for sharing their mission and passion to support the health and well-being of our healthcare workforce. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, choose to live well.
Whether you rent or own a home, we all likely have nightmare stories about home maintenance, or what I like to call home cringe moments. Join me, your host, Katie Shahan, for the Yarlow Home Cringe Show. See what home